Hi guys, I am very pleased to be able to bring to you today a lovely gentleman called Kim Renberg, and he is from a company called WordLift. And as we all know, we're doing a deep dive on AI search, and voice search is big. And these guys kept coming up when I was doing my research. Seem to have really great reviews as well. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a reach out and just sort of see what it is that we are needing to do to try and optimize ourselves to get found in AI search. It's, as we know, AI mode has just come out with Google. We've got ChatGPT with GPT search, and that is upsetting, and that their agent mode has now kicked in, GPT agent. So really we have to get our A into G around what it is and how we're actually going to do it. And Kim has very kindly decided to join us today and share his pearls of wisdom and what WordLift can actually potentially do for us and our businesses. I just wanted to get an idea of what the offerings are, because it will probably be of benefit to you at some stage in your business if it's not right now. So I would like to extend a very big welcome. Thank you so much, Kim, for joining us tonight. And today,
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Today, for me, it's morning in Europe, and
yes,
so it's fine. And I'm in the mountains, so that's why you see this little strange background instead of my office in Rome. But I hope that's fine. So I mean, we are in tourism, and I am actually in a holiday resort in the mountains. So that's fine. So
wonderful.
what is WordLift doing?
Mhm.
WordLift, we bring actually our clients into AI, the AI area. And we're doing that in two ways. One way is that we permit AI tools to access your web properties and use your content to reproduce AI material, AI content. So with WordLift, you can be a part of the dialogue that's going on the AI tools. And what I'm thinking here about is, of course, ChatGPT, but it's also Claude, Copilot, but can also be actually the Google AI mode that is kind of a dialogic way to search as well. And
Perfect.
that is one thing we are doing. Another thing we are doing is that we permit you to use AI actually to produce content yourself.
Mhm.
So it means we have an AI agent, we are calling it AI SEO agent, a very long name, that permits you actually to produce content. So at this stage, you can produce smaller content pieces, you can produce questions and answers, and you can do various kind of analytical work as well as SEO work with this agent. So, what is the basic of how WordLift is working? The basic is the knowledge graph, because our idea is when you work with AI, you must work on a base that is as secure as possible. I mean, we all know when we are in the AI area today, everything is really risky, actually. And the WordLift is working with corporate companies, and corporate companies have a reputation, a brand reputation that they cannot risk. So security is a very, very high priority. And that means also there are some limits. So the knowledge graph where we are working on, so let me try to, I will
So
try to
perhaps
give you
you
an
can
idea
explain
about that.
for those who aren't clear
Yeah,
on or familiar with a knowledge graph, they might go, what is
yes,
a knowledge graph?
exactly. That
That's
was
what you do.
my idea. So I want to show you this slide here.
Perfect.
So what is the knowledge graph? What is the idea of the knowledge graph? The idea of the knowledge graph is to have data that you reproduce your knowledge with data. So it means if you have a product, for instance, it can be that you have all the information as entities about that product. So that means it will have, for instance, materials. What is the materials, the colors? It can be forms, it can be different kind of qualities. If it is a designer product, it can be also that you add information about who is the designer. Of course, there would also be a brand connected to that product. It can actually be more than 200 entities connected to a product, and even more and even more. And that means that with all this data put together, we are able better to have a machine to understand what is this product actually about.
Got you.
Of course, we now are talking about traveling a lot, and we are so lucky to have a wonderful travel or tourism customer. We have been working many, many years together with the Salzburger land in Austria, and that is a tourist organization promoting tourism in this region. And of course, when we are talking about data in this area, we are talking a lot about the territory, right? Data about the territory. So we will then formulate the data as, for instance, a place where there can be a hotel, there can be a restaurant, there can be a ski resort. And with all these places well defined, we are able to actually then produce content and give access to AI tools to access this content. So the knowledge graph, we start here. We have the data ingestions. Oops, I have to go back. And you can see data can be of many kinds. We are talking, it can be if you have a blog, it can be taken from that. If we are working on like Google Maps can be, of course, very important for tourists. For e-commerce, the merchant center, we can take data from here. And all this data, it can be in many forms. You can see it can come into the knowledge graph, and it will then be transferred into our technology, the LLM technology, where everything here will be connected, everything that is relevant. What is important here is that we produce your knowledge graph, because when you use LLMs or Google, they have their own knowledge graphs, of course, but they are very big general knowledge graphs. So when we produce a knowledge graph for a company, it is, of course, very, very, very tiny compared to that, but also precise because we have a commercial task to carry on, right? So that is the very big difference here. Once we have the knowledge graph set up, we can then do many things. We can work with vector search, as you can see here, and the output can be many. Normally, we will be around in this area here, semantic reporting. That means that the content we will have on our web property will be semantically understandable, so to say, for an LLM searching for content. So what you should imagine is that you have your possible customer that is a human being, like on ChatGPT or wherever, using an agent, making some questions about a travel, a journey to Salzburg, to Austria. And they will ask the ChatGPT maybe, and ChatGPT will then search around the resources that they have available. And Salzburger land will be one of them. And we can here then easier be a part of that dialogue. We can also produce our own chatbot when we have our data. Data is not necessarily only for web content. So we can also have a chatbot we can produce and use for our users. It is like that already today, a large part of the internet, your visitors are not human beings anymore. Your visitors are crawlers, agents and stuff like that. And we are already, somebody's talking about 50%, even somebody about 80%, but it means we must be ready for that.
So
So,
can I just
yeah.
ask a couple of questions? If we can go back to that slide, please, if you don't mind, Kim.
Oops, sorry.
That's okay. So a couple of questions that my members might ask. One is, doesn't ChatGPT already do this crawl, like of my website or Google Gemini search on as an
Yes,
LLM already? Like, why would we need the knowledge graph with you when it does it directly? That would be one
yes.
question. Yeah,
Yes. Can I answer that?
please.
Yes. Okay. Because what you have on your website is what we would call unstructured data. And it means that because WordLift's technology is a mix, it is working with the entities. And when we are the entities, we are at a data level, not content level. And when we are working on a data level, machines can very much easier get the message.
Okay.
So that is the answer,
All
actually.
right. So is that schema? Are you
Also,
talking about schema mainly?
yes. So if we go on,
Okay. Got
WordLift is using schema markup,
it. Okay.
but we are not using schema markup. I mean, schema markup is important. Why is schema markup is important? It is because it's easier for machines to access your content with schema markup.
Correct.
But the real value for WordLift are the entities that we are, so to say, using the schema markup to place the entities, to order the entities in a way that the machines can understand. So what is important for us? Here we have an article markup. It means we have a blog post about a tourist trip or tourist destination, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So the first of all, we have an ID.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are using the structured data and knowledge graph with WordLift, every piece of content will have an ID, and that makes things easier for machines. If you see, you can see a big difference. You can see here, maybe up here, we have the article ID. When
Mm-hmm.
you see that this is a piece, this is a piece of data. Normally, when you have structured data implemented without the knowledge graph, this will just be a link to the same web page.
Uh-huh.
We are linking to data. So
Right.
that is a big difference.
Okay.
Then we have, of course, headline description and all the normal stuff that we should have. Then we have the publisher information. The publisher information is very, very important as well, as here we are actually, as WordLift, able to work with branding, because working with the knowledge graph and data, we can define your organization as data. And that is very, very important, especially today in Google, because Google is very looking very much out for brands, also small brands. And why are they doing that? That is because they have a limited crawler budget, right? They
Mm-hmm.
must present content also in the AI mode. They must present contents that are trustable and where you can put a
Correct.
face, so to say, on or brand on this content.
Yeah.
So what we do in WordLift is that, yes, we work on the knowledge graph around your offer. That might be product, service, information, whatever it is. But
Mm-hmm.
also we do a big effort with data to define your organization, your brand, and to make that understandable to search engines and LLMs, so they will trust your content more. Because what will then we do is that every piece of content you produce will be connected to that publisher, your organization.
Right.
Okay, so that is very important. We can even go more in details with the author.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about WordLift, for instance, we
Mm-hmm.
publish a lot.
Mm.
But we have some people publishing more than other people, and these are people like they are kind of building a personal reputation, right? It's like they're doing
Personal brand.
personal,
Personal
yes,
branding, yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
yes, they are working in WordLift, but they are also a name in them by themselves, so to say. So
Yes.
the same job we can do in with the organization, we can also do for people.
Okay.
Then in the end, we have the mentions, and the mentions is everything you are connected to. So it means, let's say you are a tourist blogger, so you are an author.
Yeah.
So we define you like that.
Right.
And you are working for a certain organization, so we define you as that. And let's say you are working with the African tourist trips, right? So we will use the mentions here to connect you to all the concepts, all the data regarding that kind of tourist tour. So we will probably have a lot of places here. That will probably be a country, but also more detailed places that can be resorts, hotels, and geographical places. And we will define the type of tours you're doing. It can be safari or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so we will have everything connected here.
Right.
I would like to show you just a little example of how machines actually can understand you. And I will do that showing myself. So just a moment. And I can tell you also why is that interesting. So I will share this.
Mm-hmm.
Here I have been looking myself up on Google. So I will share this. Okay. So you can see here, we are on google.com and I have been looking my own name up.
Okay.
And you can see Google knows me.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that interesting? It's interesting because I'm not a widely known person. I never published a book. I'm not a well-known entrepreneur. I'm just whatever person doing his job every day, right? Like
Wise one.
everyone
A
else.
wise guy. Yes, you
Why?
or not.
But why can I have this data? Why does Google knows me so well?
Mm-hmm.
That is because I have been defined as an entity, a person entity in the knowledge graph of WordLift.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is just to show you, I cannot promise anybody a knowledge panel like that on Google because it's Google that decides.
Yeah, yeah,
But I can say if you build the data,
yeah, okay.
you can have a possibility to own that, both as a person, as a company.
So
I
can I
mean,
just stop you there and just so that I can
you
recap?
stopped me. I will stop this terrible thing. I
Oh,
just
I wanted you to
love
go
I
back
just
to that.
love to show myself.
Oh, you're worth it. Totally worth
But
it. But so if I'm understanding, by you providing in my mind, the way that I'm sort of compartmentalizing it, is that by creating these IDs that are identifiable by LLMs, these chat AI search engines, you're able to have things like that knowledge graph. It's kind of like a little knowledge graph database with the right IDs that feed all of the LLMs the way that they want to be fed. Is that what I'm saying?
yeah,
Hearing?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
got you.
exactly.
Okay, so that makes sense.
And there's a
So,
semantic relationship between the entities.
yeah,
That's also very important because it's very important that the machines can recognize you. Like I'm very easy to recognize, right? Because with my data, if you think about it, I'm living in Rome, I'm working at WordLift, so we connect Rome and WordLift together with my person. I'm born and raised in Denmark, so you put that. So, all this data together, it also makes it the more you should make sure that your person, and then of course birthday and their birthplace and all these things, and
Okay.
then connecting everything to, for instance, LinkedIn, Facebook, and other social media, because that is very important to work with the right linking, right? You must link to sources that can confirm the LLMs and the search engines all the time who you are. Machines are very stupid. If you can confirm 10 times who you are, it's better than confirming only one time. If you are very, very big shot and you can confirm it 100 times, then it's even better, of course.
Okay. All right. All right. So I'm loving that. So now you have mentioned that it's a semantic connection, which I'm loving because obviously that's going to help with voice. But what about visual? Do you have any visual
Visual,
capacity?
visual word lift, we can do it and we are doing it in some cases, but it's not standard yet in our production.
Because I did see
So
vector there, your vector bit at the bottom of your
yeah,
so
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
that the visual stuff?
That that is partly visual stuff and media stuff in general, yes. But
Okay.
we are not, so to say, able. We can produce text for you, of course, and
Mm-hmm.
that is the next step I would come to, is
Okay.
that
So
now when we
the
have,
reason I was asking is that video is becoming so big
yes,
in
for
search.
sure.
So is there a capacity in WordLift to accommodate for references on YouTube and
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I
okay.
mean, when we are talking about being found, so to say, we
Mm-hmm.
have very, very good tools in WordLift, and actually we are working on the schema.org standards.
Okay.
So it means that everything you can define in schema.org, you can define in WordLift, and that means also video material. So when we are talking about promoting video material, yes. We're talking about, so to say, reproducing video material. No, you
Oh,
need
got
specialized tools.
Got you. Yes, yeah. Okay, I hear you. All right. So no,
Yeah,
it was just about because video is just going to be massive thanks to TikTok and
also.
shorts. I do shorts every day, every single day.
Yeah,
It's one of those things
okay.
of how does that get found? So it's basically a video ID that is linked in my instance would be linked to me as a personal identity.
Yes,
Got you.
yes,
Got you.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. What will be the power there, or what is the power, is for sure that you can add the ID and you can add the video also, of course, in a context,
Okay.
because that is very, very important. I mean, we know how important it is to create context for the LLMs, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you must kind of, it's like a double task you have. You must be able to respond very well on the questions that people are asking on the LLM. So you must be precise, but
Yes.
at the same time, you must be able to produce context. Otherwise, things will not work very well.
Okay.
And that means the ability to connect all your stuff together you have and create authentical clusters on certain forms of content is, of course, very important.
So I just wonder there,
And the WordLift tool
understand,
can help you doing that. Yeah.
yeah. So this is one of the things that drew me to you as well is that, okay, for those who aren't familiar, you've got NLP capacity, natural language programming capacity on WordLift. And I think I saw as well on your website that you've also got the machine learning capacity, which basically
Yes.
learns from how people interact with your content for those who aren't familiar with it. So in this instance, like I create every day, there's content every day. So
Yeah, good.
how does like in WordLift, is that something we would need to consistently have to update? Like a lot of my guys that are in our association do this. They're restaurants, they're doing behind the scenes, they're doing little reels of their tours or whatever the case
Yeah.
might be for the activities. It could be something of the hotel, a little video, or it could be anything. So that updating, as long as I'm assuming, as long as they have uploaded it to their Instagram or to their YouTube, that it will automatically feed into your knowledge graph so that the LLMs can then find it, or do they
So
manually do it?
it depends. To use WordLift, you need to have things on your own property, so to say. So we can do that both the YouTube and Instagram. It can be integrated, so it can be property managed, so to say.
Okay.
And I mean, you just need to embed your YouTube video on your property, and you will be able to work with it on with WordLift in this way. We cannot interact with on YouTube on your YouTube channel. That is not, the tool is not for that.
Okay.
So
But you can
so you
reference.
should think about everything you are managing yourself when you are thinking about the WordLift.
Okay. So just I think I got a little bit lost there. So effectively, if it's on YouTube, it would then be referenced or on Instagram as if I have connected the channel with my Instagram ID with WordPress.
Yeah, I think it is embed. If you embed a YouTube
Oh,
video on your website, you can use WordLift to optimize it.
if it's embedded on your website. Okay, got you.
Yes,
All
exactly.
right. Okay.
Exactly.
So yes, so
Things have to be on your own property to to be optimized. But
see,
when you
so that's
have
where I got
that,
confused.
I mean, a lot of our yeah, a lot of automation is going on, because if you think about like a blog or publishing new services or things, you will have the new page will automatically be updated with structured data, and be
Mhm.
data will be reused for your content.
Got
So it means, like, if you are defined as a publisher, and we have been doing a good job there,
mhm.
that will be connected to everything you will be published in the future.
Okay.
Then, of course, there can be some personal tasks to do on a page. I mean, maybe you would like to use some special mentions, and then you have to work on that.
Okay. So effectively, when you say your property, you mean something like your WordPress website, your actual website. Is that what you mean?
It doesn't have to be WordPress. It can be
Exactly.
any
Any
platform.
website, yeah. So basically,
Yeah.
somewhere like your website, as opposed to YouTube or Instagram, if you embed it on
Yeah.
the site, then WordLift can then reference you in the knowledge graph to then be used for the LLM.
Yeah,
Got you.
actually, it's very important for the way we think data, that you have your own home, so to say. You
Okay.
must have the home of your data, because if your data are just on social media platforms or whatever, you cannot have control,
Mm-hmm.
and you can only control your data on your own platform.
Got you.
So that is the kind of, how can I say, main philosophy around that controlling your data, and you must create your own home of your brand, of your company, and so on. And that should be, this home should be the reference for everything else you're doing. It should be your center, so
Okay,
to say.
got you. I love that
Eh,
advice. Thank you. That's really great and very useful. So, one of the questions that I've got for you then is there's a huge drive on personalization. So, everything's personalization with AI. So, I was giving a
Yeah,
demo the other day to an organization, and it's things like, oh, I've got a chili allergy and I want to know if I can eat at that restaurant. And I can just, in this instance, I was talking about using Google Lens, and you'd be able to see what the restaurant is, and then ask it, does it have chili free on the menu so I don't have to get out of the car? And is there a car park that's close
Yeah.
by, etc., and can I book now? So all of these like hyper personalizations. Does WordLift have a capacity for, say, an entity like a restaurant or a hotel or accommodation to put in what those personalized, quirky things are that all their customers over the years have actually,
Yeah.
asked them?
Yeah, it's all working on the data, right?
Mm.
So it's about creating data in this case about allergies, for instance.
Okay.
What can we do? And again, it can seem quite of a heavy work when you start with the first hotel, but then it will be a model you can of course replicate for more instances, hotels, restaurants, whatever what you need it for. And it even means that you can, when you have all this data in place, I mean, we are using it like for in the Austrian case, we are using it for like making tours, right? Because when you have all these details about the menus of restaurants, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
then you can organize a tour. You can say, okay, I want to taste the local food in a certain way, a special kind of local food, and I want to try three restaurants. I got 3 days or whatever, and so around in the mountains. And you can get out that all this data. I mean, you can get very nice advice and very
Mm-hmm.
detailed advice because the data are in place.
So can I ask, is all that data have to be on your website, like you mentioned before, or is it something that they could enter into WordLift that can then be fed to the LLMs?
It will be, yeah, it will be in the knowledge graph, and the knowledge graph can be hosted by WordLift, but in most cases, especially with big organizations, they are hosting it themselves because, of course, the knowledge graph is being an asset of your business and marketing activities in the end, right?
Okay, so is that
So
like a database
that
that sits with WordLift, or is that a database that they need to have that's connected in their own, like,
it can be both. I
okay,
mean, big companies will always have the data
of course,
by
but the
themselves and
small
host
guys
them.
don't, which is why I'm asking.
Small guys can choose. Some will have the capacity, both economically and technically, but otherwise it's part of the service, so to say, that you can have that
For
deployed
example, I'm
by
going to
WordList.
just be a devil's advocate. I've got a small motel here in New Zealand in
Yeah,
Queenstown, and we have a feather pillow, a menu for pillows, a pillow menu, and we offer sponge pillows and feather pillows and whatever other pillows, I don't know, lavender. There we go. We're on a roll here.
yeah.
We're on a roll. But I'm probably going to put that on my website. But if I don't have it on my website, it is something that I could enter into WordLift separately, but it's tagged to my entity as a motel owner. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean the data and content should somehow there should be a connection, right?
Yeah.
But of course the knowledge graph is something is an entity, so to say, that we build out as
Okay.
that is one project.
Right.
And then you can build out the content on as another project. So, but they are connected, of course. I mean, for instance, a classical analytical job we will do with our AI SEO agent will be to look for entity gaps. So to
Okay.
say, I have a piece of content, I want to promote this content, but what are the gaps to what is the search the
Mm,
SERP in this moment? You can do that with the agent.
okay.
And then you, when you have discovered your gaps, what you would normally do is you will then say, okay, I'm missing this entity. So you will add this entity to your knowledge graph,
Okay.
of course. But then you will also produce a piece of content respecting this, respect of this entity, right?
Right.
So it's a job you will do. It's like a ping pong. You can say it also depends a little where you where you want to go. But I think no, most of us are still producing our web properties also for human beings, right? So but maybe in the future we will have web properties only for machines, right? So we actually just need the knowledge graph
Oh,
and
for
no
that,
no
yeah.
content.
So I
But
suppose,
that's I would say this science fiction still,
yeah,
but
I think it might be
might be
coming a bit
around the
sooner
corner.
than we realize. Because
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
were
yeah.
talking about this the other day. Have you got one agent replica of yourself just talking to another agent replica of yourself?
Oh yeah, see.
It's just
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
two bots are having a conversation and you don't even know what's going on. So
Yes,
I think,
absolutely.
yeah, it's happening.
Absolutely. Uh,
So I suppose at the end of the day, what I'm hearing is it would be better if they actually had it. It's a connection tool. It would be better to have it actually on your website or in a database that can then be referenced to pull into the knowledge graph, and you're the connector that makes that happen.
Yeah,
Got you.
absolutely.
Okay.
And I
Right.
cannot emphasize enough the importance of having the control and the of the knowledge of the data, because
Mhm.
this is the real business is there in the future. Not thinking just about WordLift. I mean, you can also build the knowledge graph for WordLift, and then something is happening and you can think about these data can be used for other stuff in the
Okay.
future, right? Once you have this asset up and running, there will be applications we cannot even think about today
Hmm.
that it will be useful
Well,
for
the
that.
reason I was asking as well is that one of the associations was a restaurant chain, and they were asking, they said, well, can we have one general database and then these specific things all added for all the restaurants? So it's
Yeah,
multiple that throughout the country. And it's like chili allergies, which ones have on their menus today, that kind of thing. So it's
that
like
can be done, of
it can
course.
be done. Okay, so there we
Yeah,
go. So this was, and that's WordLift can help with the semantic search of like, oh, what restaurants are in Queenstown that have gluten free or chili free.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
okay.
exactly.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you. So WordLift can help with helping pull that in. So do you have like what sort of is this what you're doing now? I think you're on the bleeding edge of, by the sounds of it. I mean, I don't know if what competitors you have. Like I know these things like how some people might ask like, how are you different to say Uber suggest from Neil Patel?
Yeah,
Or people also
yeah.
ask.
Okay. I mean, we are working in a we are not fixed to just one market, right? In the sense that you will find some companies only doing content generation,
Mm-hmm.
and they are doing that on scale, and if they're doing it well or not, I mean, it's up to their customers to decide. We are proposing what we claim to be a more sure way to do it, because we have the knowledge graph in the background that will discipline the output of what you get.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there are many technologies you can do to do that. In the same time, we have as WordLift, we have the SEO aspect, right, in the work we are doing. So it's not just content generation, it's content generation, so to say, with a marketing purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And there in this space we have other kind of competition, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, WordLift is not the only company in the world building knowledge graphs.
Mm-hmm.
There are other companies doing it, and actually a lot of companies doing it in a space very different from the SEO and marketing space.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because you can use a knowledge graph also to manage a magazine. Think about the corporate, very big organizations, how they can benefit from AI with all their internal stuff. And what you do in the knowledge graph is that you put all this data together to manage things, right?
Got
It
you.
can also be, you can think about the financial world and so on.
Okay.
We are in the SEO and marketing world, so that is our reference.
So,
And
you
you
know,
find also,
with tools like People Also Ask, where it's got the specific questions that people are actually asking. Is there
yeah.
some capacity in WordLift to find out what those questions are so that we know what content
Yes,
we
that
create?
is, yes,
Yes.
yes. That is one of the jobs we are doing very often. And we know how important the questions and answers are for the LLMs
Mm.
to promote on the LLM. So
And
we can do that. We can do that with the agent, but we can also do that in a more heavy form, so to say. We can mass produce also this kind of content
okay,
to
so
give
just
you an idea about mass production, but I don't think it's so interesting maybe for your audience. But in e-commerce area, we have a customer where we are able to produce around 2,000 product descriptions
mm.
in 1 minute.
Oh,
And that's
wow.
before, and why is that
I love
possible?
AI.
That's possible because
It's amazing.
we have been doing we have been doing a lot of training on that stuff. Okay,
Mm, mm, mm.
then you can do things like that. But I think what is more important for your audience is that you can use the agent and you can say to the agent, I want to produce like 5 questions and answers for in this cluster, on this section, for this content, and we can do that very elegantly.
Okay, so let's take the example of the chili. We've got a restaurant,
Yeah,
and I go into WordLift and I go, okay, what are the most commonly asked questions around gluten or allergies pertaining to restaurants, specifically in
yeah,
Queenstown or Auckland or wherever it is, and it will give me
yeah.
the choices, and then I can select them.
Yeah, it will, yes. It will
Okay.
be normally when we work with these tools, there are 2 ways. All the customer will use the agent by themselves and they will produce and then they will be able to say
Oh no.
if we are doing the work for them, we will propose a list of the questions and answers, and then they will have to say we like it or it's useful, it's not useful
Okay. Does
for
it
the
have
purpose.
search numbers on like how many people in AI searches specifically, or does it give you any
No,
volume? No.
no, no. It will be questions and answers that would be evaluated relevant on more bases. Of course, the agent is working with APIs, so we
Mm.
have an idea about integrating with external sources. So we will have
Oh.
an idea about what people are
So
asking. In
suggestions
fact,
are
that is
made from
yeah.
collated data from APIs.
Yes.
Okay,
In
got you.
fact, that is a task that you cannot do just once and then it's done. You should
I
do
know.
it like regularly, maybe
Mhm.
once in a month or whatever, how updated you want to be, because that is one of the ideas behind the agent doing analytical work and producing content is that speed is becoming so incredibly important
Yeah,
for
the
your
speed.
publishing work now because people are moving incredible fast
Mm.
and they can do anything on the chatbots, right? So you should be there with the content that is actually requested or in the way it's requested. So
Mm.
making analytical work and producing new content should be kind of a daily task nearly, right? Of course,
Oh,
it depends how big you are. But with the agent, you can save
mm.
resources doing that. I mean, we can do things very much faster than you are able to do by yourself.
No, do it manually.
Without AI tools, doing everything
So
manually, yes.
just in terms of, I saw on your website as well that you integrate with voice devices, it's like Alexa
Yeah,
and whatnot. Now, this is becoming a thing, obviously, mainly in hotels, if I'm honest, where they can then go and ask specific questions that normally you would have phoned the front desk for. Is that something?
yeah,
It's not specifically hotels, but it's like they might say what restaurants in the area and they might want to integrate.
yeah.
what chili free, yeah, we're back to the chili free again.
Yeah, of course. Can
Chili
I?
free restaurants are around the hotel that I'm actually staying at. Is that something that Word
Yeah.
would then be able to verbally give the advice through in Alexa, provided, of course, they've integrated with you?
So yes, technically that is possible. I must say that it's not a kind of service we have any request on
Okay,
really yet.
will come.
It is like every year voice is getting up as the new thing,
It is.
but then it's like when we start to budget, it's kind of forgotten.
Yeah. Well,
In many cases.
my
So
prediction, Kim, is it's going to be massive because everybody's on
yes,
mobile. If you think about it, it's like they pick up a phone and they just go, "Tell me where," or "Show me,"
yeah.
And I think the days of typing
But
and the voice is in all the LLMs now, isn't it? So I think we're just being trained to go voice. So I
yeah,
yeah.
I totally agree. And it is technical possible. It is for sure something that can be made. And actually, it might be the opportunity to make a good business case.
Yes,
So yes.
exactly. Okay. That's fantastic. Okay. All right. So now, in terms of writing, the other question that sometimes I get is, oh, AI doesn't sound like me if it's written by something else like ChatGPT. And that's kind of some of the training that I do with the AI Marketing Club. It's like customizing what tools are good for you for what purpose and which ones work well together, etc., etc. So that's a lot of stuff that I do. But in your instance, like you were saying, it creates, like in that case of products and doing 2000 with the descriptions. Look, it's a description. It's not going to be the end of the world if it doesn't sound like the guy who's selling it or the lady who's selling it. But
Oh yes,
based
it
on,
is the end of the world. It is all branded.
yes, it's got to be branded. Yeah, yeah, branded. But having that voice, the voice of the customer is what I'm saying.
No, it is the voice. It is the voice. No,
Oh,
no,
it is the voice.
it is a
Okay.
brand voice. It's a
Brand
brand
voice.
voice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So fantastic. So there is capacity within WordLift to tone it, to have your brand voice when it's writing these articles, so it actually does sound like you.
Yes,
Okay, love it.
yes.
And
So that is very much that there are two elements here. One is the knowledge graph, of course,
mm-hmm,
because when you have the knowledge graph to, so to say, discipline the dialogue is very much more stricter than what you will experience on ChatGPT, for instance.
mm-hmm.
So ChatGPT will always give you an answer, even it's wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
When you have
We know
when you
this.
have yes, when you have your personalized knowledge graph, that is more difficult, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you can even have cases where you can say, I'm not able to answer
Mm-hmm.
because maybe we forgot to cover this area in the knowledge graph, or we didn't think it was relevant when we were building it, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all a question about security, and it's better, in our opinion, to have I'm not able to respond than have a
Mm-hmm.
false answer, right?
Correct.
And
Yeah.
maybe you are then doing some action on basis of this answer, and then things are getting very expensive. That's
Right, yes, I
uh,
understand. So, I mean, effectively with ChatGPT, it goes out to the world, doesn't it? Whereas with your knowledge graph, it's siloed and it's only your
ex
information. And it's
yes.
safe, it's secure, is what we're saying as well. Hey.
Exactly, and it has a scope. To give an example, I have a problem now with energy, I see, but let's see how much it can go on. I still got some.
Okay, it's
Okay.
okay. We're near the end, I think. You're doing very well.
Yeah,
Throwing
good.
lots of
I
questions at you.
having just to give you an example of that, what we did build for a wine e-commerce.
Okay.
They were asking, we have so many questions from our customers, how should I combine wine with food? So
Mm,
we are talking
mm.
about wine pairing,
Yes,
right?
I'm pairing. Yep.
Yeah, so we actually did build that for them.
Mm,
So we were concentrating on this area. It was an Italian company, so we were concentrating on Italian dishes, Italian food, and so on. So you could actually go and ask. I will have a guest next week, next weekend. I will serve them this kind of food. What wine would
Mm.
you advise me
Recommend.
to buy?
Mm.
And this is an example of how you can, in very limited areas, you can build business AI, so to say,
Mm-hmm.
to respond on your questions. And that could, the same could be about allergies or
Yeah.
what
Anything.
plates can I get, and so on. So it's all a question. I mean, everything starts with a business, right?
Mm.
We are not just building AI just for fun, so to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to limit the area. What kind of questions do we, what kind of dialogues do we want to have with our potential customers?
So can WordLift integrate? I'm assuming the answer is yes, via an API with AI chatbots on people's websites so that
Oh
they
yes,
they
yeah.
can. I
We
assume so.
we are not, yeah, we are not building a chatbot, so to say, from scratch, but we add the element of the semantic meaning, so we can, so to say, we will lift the quality of the answers that chatbot is providing.
Okay.
Yes.
So, for example, then I'm just thinking outside the square. If I were searching for something in a hotel and they've got an AI chatbot and they've got WordLift,
Yeah.
and I've asked a question, WordLift would be able to look inside the chatbot or whatever, pull the information that's been asked before and serve it
We
as a search.
will build a knowledge graph.
Yeah, the knowledge graph from what they've done. Okay, so it taps the knowledge
Yeah.
graph directly.
That will
Uh,
be, I mean, it will function very much like you see now how AI, Google AI mode is functioning, right?
yeah.
Because what is Google doing? Google is saying, okay, we are not interested in keywords anymore. We're interested in entities.
Hmm.
What are they doing? They will then say to this entity, we normally have this kind of search intent.
Mm.
But you can, of course, not have only one search intent to an entity. And then they develop this concept about fan out.
Yes,
It
that's right.
means
Yeah, the
the
fan
fan
out.
out will be
Mm.
all the kinds of
Question.
search entities that we can imagine around, search queries, sorry, that we can imagine around an entity.
Right,
Okay.
right.
And we can build, and we can, as WordLift, we can build that out as well. When we have the knowledge graph, we can build all these
Mm.
search queries or search entities out on the respect of an entity and give the answers just as Google is doing
Okay. So just in terms of that then,
when they are.
well, this is really great. I mean, I'm loving this. So I am realizing we are pretty much out of time here. So what I did want to ask you then was in terms of how to use WordLift, is this something that a small business can do themselves, or is this something that you guys need to do, or is it better for agencies? Who's it best suited for?
Yeah. So I would say the best WordLift is functioning the best when we are in the loop somehow.
Hmm.
So it should all be us or very much an agency. We love that. I
Hmm.
mean, we are tool maker. So if we can have an agency to help us interface with customers and do the job and be closer to the customer, that is something we just
Yeah,
love
yeah, yeah.
to give to, so to say, transfer this our knowledge and tools to an agency. And we are doing that. It's
Mm.
functioning the best in the US, but we have also other cases around the
Okay.
world.
So I
Yeah.
did see on your website that you had what was it called? Your newest one, the smallest version, payment version that you've got. Oh, I'm sorry, I've forgotten the name of it.
The agent maybe.
Yeah, what was the exact term? I don't want to mutilate your business. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
I will try to share the page and let's see if we
Yeah,
can.
it was on your payment, like so on your pricing page. I think you had three different
Is this
options.
the one?
maybe. This is it. Here we go. So,
Yes.
or hands-on
Okay.
and freelancers.
Good.
There we go. And then
Yeah.
business and enterprise. So just to give the folks an idea. So, but that's an alpha. So what can that agent that you're building out there, if it is somebody who wants to join that alpha list that you wait list or whatever, the capacity there
Yeah.
that we've got there, will that give them a good start into getting found in AI search if they were wanting to do it themselves and they were ambitious enough to do it?
It will, I mean, if you want to build the knowledge graph and have all the benefits from a knowledge graph and structured data that WordLift is building, you should choose the Business Plus.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And
So
the other
we have
one
been
doesn't have the
talking very
knowledge
much
graph.
around.
The
The other one will be exactly here. You just it's a very valuable tool, but here you are doing more the analytical work and you can do content optimization and audits and so on. But you should think it more like a more conventional tool that you can use for that.
okay.
The reason why we are offering this alpha edition is that we are looking for partners working with us in
Mm-hmm.
order to improve our tool,
Mm,
and both from a technical point of view, but also about functions. What do you need when you work out there?
got
And then we will evaluate and integrate the tool with that.
it.
But so here you will work will so to say without the knowledge graph. Here
Okay.
you will also have the agent and you will work with the knowledge graph.
Okay. So
So
that's
you
the
will
point of the
get
business.
somehow
Right.
you
Yeah,
will
the
get
power's in
deeper.
that one,
You
isn't
will
it?
get deeper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And that's per month. Okay. That's the yearly.
And
What's the monthly? If they decided to do monthly, what's the price monthly?
the monthly here is if you have a year's license,
Yep.
you this will be the monthly
Okay.
price.
Right.
So
Okay. But that's
uh,
build yearly. I meant to say build monthly. There's a different price.
monthly, yes, you will
Yeah.
it will cost
Okay.
something more.
Does.
But
Okay.
I will recommend the yearly plan because it takes some months to build
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
the knowledge
Absolutely.
graph. I mean, the knowledge graph we can do in 2 minutes. I mean, technically, it's very
Mm,
easy,
mm.
but to build it up business-wise, it
It
can
can
take
take a
time
while to
to
do.
develop the
Right.
strategy around it and so on. And then you also don't much forget that you need all the linking, you need all the internal linking that we talked about in the beginning, that the linking that makes understand Google can understand who is Kim, for instance.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is because we have the knowledge graph is alive. It's linking to all this other
Yeah.
stuff that is telling Google, okay, this is really Kim, right?
Okay.
So you need to have it up and running. You cannot just build it and then leave it because then it will not be. I
Yeah.
mean, it will not function for you.
All right. And is this something then that you guys are actually doing for the businesses, or is this the business level something that us as businesses we're doing it? We're adding our bits in ourselves, or is it where we hand it?
No, we can we will have when you buy this plan here,
Yeah.
we will have some hours for
Oh,
you
okay.
that you can use in more ways. You can use it as support,
Okay.
and you can use it also to implementation and optimization, but you can
Okay.
actually also use it as training. Let's say you are an agency, so you
Hmm.
can say, okay, I want to learn this, and we can use the hours for training,
Okay, got you. Okay,
the man
fantastic.
hours.
All
Yeah.
right, that's so useful. Okay, golly, I've had, yeah, it's been really, really wonderful to speak to you. I mean, I've loved it. It was,
Thank you.
the wonderful thing that we've come to get our heads around is that how the AI really is leaning on that knowledge graph quite heavily, and how you create this hub of knowledge that is indexed in the way that those LLMs can actually retrieve that information easily. And I love how
Yeah.
you've got the API, so it can connect other apps that the folks have got into it as well. So it's all talking to each other, which I really love as well. And I love that your content can sound like you have the capacity, and that it's siloed and safe, and it doesn't go out and it's not likely to hallucinate like ChatGPT and
No.
the others, because it is siloed off and it's protected. So all of those tick a lot of boxes. So it's been an absolute joy. I really appreciate you taking time out. I think you're probably on holiday, so
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate
Well, no, I'm
it.
actually I'm still working.
Oh, you are
So
still
next
working.
week I'll
I
have
was
some holidays.
feeling a
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
guilty there earlier on. It's like
No need for that.
dragging
No
this
need for
poor
feel
man
guilty.
out when he
You
should
are
be out.
always welcome.
Yeah, no, it was
Yeah,
an
good.
absolute joy. So now, if people want to do a reach out to you, what's the best way to connect with you?
Oh, they can do that on LinkedIn, or they can drop me an email at kim@wordlift.io. So that's fine.
And
Yeah.
and the website is wordlift.io, isn't it?
Yes,
Correct. Okay.
exactly.
Well, that is
So
absolutely wonderful. I just so have had so much fun. I just geek out on this stuff. So this has been amazing. And I really
that's great.
appreciate it. Speaking to like-minded AI gurus. I love it. It just lights my
Yeah,
fire.
we will do that. We will do that again when you have more
Absolutely.
questions. When you have more questions.
Absolutely. And it's quite possible that I will have, because everything's changing so
Good.
fast. So thank you so much for your time today, Kim. I really
Thank you to
appreciate it.
you. I'm
And
so happy to be here. Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, you take care now. Bye now.
Yeah. Take care. Bye bye.